now. And so excited to have Kahkshan Ali with me, who is also a certified high performance coach and are you practicing dentist and you coach
Yes.
dentists?
Yes.
All of the above. So so I'm very excited to talk to you today because just right before we went live, we were starting to talk about one of your real heartfelt missions. And that was, as you said, and tell me if I've got this right, but to connect people all over the world and really help people see what we have in common.
Yes, exactly. Thanks for talking about that. Is my real purpose and mission amongst that's the big one for me. And really probably because I was born in Pakistan, but then we moved to the States when I was 3. And I've lived all over in the US. I've lived all over in many countries, and I have, relatives, family all over the world. And I love traveling, love learning about other cultures, and really have noticed over the years with what's been happening, with events, worldwide events, that a lot of times media, governments, politics, they use, I feel, people and to turn them against each other when we really, on a ground level, when I'm traveling and I'm meeting people, whether it's in the States or anywhere, people, we have so many things in common, and it doesn't matter that what religion, race, ethnic background we're from. So I really, that's my thing, is I want to make sure that people realize that and don't listen to those external forces, and we just stay connected.
Wow. And Kahkshan, obviously, like there's no more important time right now, right? Because here we all are, forced through this global crisis. I think, and I'd love to hear you say some more about this, to really see how similar we all are and that we're all going through something very similar, no matter what, like you said, no matter where we live, our religion or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is really an unprecedented time when the whole world is together fighting against this virus. It's incredible. And the camaraderie and the support that everyone is showing to one another is such an amazing time to, it's incredible. And it's so heartwarming to see that.
Yeah. So tell me, how are you during this time? How are you using your gifts and your talents and your wisdom and teachings to support this global connectedness and to support people through this?
Well, right now, especially because for many of us, we have a lot more time on our hands. So for right now, the way I'm working in a hospital over here in Saudi Arabia, and we are having to take precautions. So we're having just really the emergency staff working there, taking rotations. So I'll be going in next, in a couple of days, there'll be my on-call sessions and stuff. So because of that, yes, I do have extra time, and I want to make sure that I'm reaching out. So I'm part of a couple of Facebook groups. There's a huge group that we have, dentists. It's also an international group right now. And letting them know that I'm available, with the coaching, with being able to help some, offering free coaching for people. And also just in my own immediate circle, here locally, doing the same thing. I did a webinar the other night, and just wanted to be able to, once again, this is a really challenging time for so many of us. And for some people, we have obviously a background in personal development, self-development, which makes it not perfect, but a little bit easier when you have these real challenges. So just really want to be able to share that knowledge with other people and help them right now.
Yeah, I so appreciate that. And can you share with us, like maybe some of the particular specific ways that you're seeing that people need support? Oh, hi, Saida. It's nice she just joined us.
Hi, Saida. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. For particular support right now, I would have to say for many, especially my colleagues, I mean, this is tough. We're all, and I had posted in our Facebook group something, we're so used to living a daily routine, a very, getting up, going to work and interacting with our staff in our office. And I mean, that's really for many people who have, not working from home, who have been used to going into an office setting or practice setting. And I think for many, having to be at home for so many hours, yes, it is a blessing to be with their families and their loved ones, but at the same time, it's we're so used to being work, 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 and then all of a sudden to have to sit back and be like, okay, that's not there, so now what?
Yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And this might be a good time for us to bring in. I mean, I love that you're so multifaceted, right? Like so you are working, we could say like kind of, with some people who have been in the trenches of this, right? Because in the medical arena. And
Yes.
so I'm guessing on two levels, and you can say more, but one is the people who are still in there, like
Mhm.
working in medical institutions and facilities, and then people who used to do that, but now they're forced to stay at home and not do their practices. Can you
Right.
speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think for the ones who are still on the front line, and I first of all just want to thank them and honor them because I mean, I don't want to get emotional, but really, I mean, it's just incredible what they're doing, and especially under such difficult circumstances in terms of equipment, proper protection, all of that that's happening. So just want to first give a shout out to all of them. Really, it's incredible. And we're so lucky to have people in this world who are willing to do that for us. And then, so for them, yes, it's a different struggle and challenge. They're there with this unknown, in a sense that there's only so much that's that we still know about the COVID-19. And for them to be not having all of the availability, like normally when when you have patients or people that you're trying to help, you have all the necessary medicines, all the things that you need. And now not to have that, not to even have maybe tests for everyone,
Right.
not to be able to do what you really want to be able to do can be very disheartening and frustrating and, very difficult for them. And even though they know that we're all supporting them, but they're right there. And so what's the best way to help those doctors and nurses and healthcare, and even our, any of the first responders, whether it's our police and fire and
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, do you want to say a little bit more about like how we can, or how you are supporting them?
yeah. I think really for those of us who are in this field, especially when it comes to coaching, let's say, um, really just to be able to reach out perhaps first locally in your area and see who you can help. There's lots of things happening right now within our own local. Of course, we can do things, and not to say local, like, yes, we have to be home, but just to find out who in your local area might need that extra support and still maybe do it virtually, obviously, if you,
Right.
depending on, everyone's kind of in a different,
Right.
background, like some can go out a little bit more, some can less. So it's all kind of different for people. So depending on what's going on with your, where you're living, and then just, reach out and find out certain organizations could actually probably have you help them. There may already be a support system in place, but with different areas of expertise for that support. There might be trauma, different things. So as a high performance coach, there's some other added value that we have to be able to help. So it really just depends on what your background is and what you can do for that. And then of course, having the internet is an incredible thing that we can use right now to be able to reach people worldwide. So it's not that you just have to stay locally. If you feel that you also, can help people regardless of where they are, you're able to do that through Zoom or through Facebook. I mean, we're really, really blessed to have that connection. At least we have that has not been, taken away at this time.
Right. I know, another deep gratitude, right, for that part of the world. So yeah, I love what you're saying, that for all of us, whether people listening to this are coaches themselves, like we are in our community, or just have other, skills or talents to offer. I love that, what you're
Yes.
saying, to reach out. And then I'm also really curious about, because you are a dentist and you've worked with dentists, and many of them, at least where I am, it's only emergency care right now. So
Yes.
instead of going into their offices and having their practices, what's going on for that, and what can they do?
Sure. So, I mean, for teledentistry right now has opened up. And what I love, and that we were talking about earlier, about how people are helping each other. So there's so many companies who are offer or allowing it to be, usually it's a paid product, but they're opening it up for free right now. So there's certain
Oh,
platforms have opened up. So at least you can, have a patient come on and be able to use the various tools in that particular platform that's specifically made for dentistry, and be able to maybe help diagnose, get a prescription out to them if they have a
oh,
swelling, something like that, that you may not necessarily, because for them also, it's a risk right now for people to be going out and about, so the more that we can all stay in and get things done and
yeah,
have coming to our home, whether it's delivery of medications or, things like that. That's ideal. Now, for some, of course, certain emergencies, they do have to see the patient physically.
right.
And so they do have that. A lot of my friends and other dentists that I know do have, their practices available for that particular situation. I mean, hopefully you've never had a toothache, but I mean, it is probably one of the worst
Oh, I know.
excruciating pains. And, it's just, and we also are trying to keep patients out of the emergency room, because
Right.
if we don't take care of this, and they're, in that kind of pain, you have to do something. So rather than having them go and overload the already overloaded system in medical system right now in the emergency rooms, it's best for us to, try and take care of that area that we're able to.
Wow. Yeah. And so, obviously, as a coach, I know that you probably have some great mindset tips in your pocket. So, and we don't have to just talk about people in the medical arena who may be at home now, but let's just talk in general. There are a lot of people who are at home right now who are used to going into an office, who are used to having colleagues and, a whole office environment. Do you have
Yeah.
any best tips that you see for how people can deal with being at home now and not having that community and that support?
I really think using social media right now is playing a really beneficial and supportive role. So just to check and go in, like I said, there's several, but I mean, there's one that I'm part of right now, and it's called Dentists Against Coronavirus. And there's like maybe 35,000 people in there
Wow.
right now, and
Wow.
it's, worldwide, and it's great. There is not just, serious information that we're all sharing we need to, in terms of about the virus, but also we also have just, I mean, some lighthearted, people are sharing recipes, what they're doing at
Right.
home with their families. I mean, and it's amazing to see dentists. People always like, okay, sometimes they maybe think of us as being really serious, but there's so many who have all these other extra hobbies and, passions that they're doing, and they have some time to do right now. So it's really a great place. So I feel like people, just to keep that connection, don't keep that, don't be isolated. I mean, social distancing is one thing, but really just stay connected to people. Use FaceTime, whatever means that you have to connect, or WhatsApp, or whatever means you have to connect to your family, your friends, your colleagues. Just, maintain that as much as you can.
Yeah. How about you in your own life? So what are some of these ways of, because let's go back to connecting, because that's so near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways that you're connecting in your own life, whether it's with friends and family or colleagues or even reaching out to strangers?
Right now, well, for family, I have multiple WhatsApp groups with different family members and stuff.
Yeah.
So, because as I said, they're all over. So I definitely have that with my sort of close friends and family. But definitely, I'm also on Facebook, different groups, and interacting there. And then really using Zoom. I love Zoom as a platform.
Mhm.
I use FaceTime with my mom and dad. I seem to see a lot of my mom's ear. She's not quite getting it when I'm calling her on a call.
Oh,
Or if it's a FaceTime, then I'm like, Mom, I need to see your face now. So, yeah.
that's
But
so
I'm
sweet.
blessed that at least she knows how to answer that. And,
Right.
and the same with my dad. They're both at home. And my dad is actually, bless him, he is a practicing physician at age 84.
What?
And so, yes. And so he's home right now. He's a pathologist. And so he's home right now. And I'm sure, being at home with my mom all the time is quite interesting for the two of them. But so, but yeah, so he also, I'm making sure that he doesn't get, because he loves, that's the part of him, for him also the same thing, he loves what he does. That's his field as a doctor, is his passion. And having to stay home right now and also not having that interaction with his other doctor friends and colleagues and, patients and things is definitely something,
Yeah.
a first time for him ever, and he
Wow.
graduated from medical school in 1958. So
Wow.
yeah.
I love that you can FaceTime with them. My
Yes.
my own mother only has an old-fashioned landline, but we did teach her, thank goodness, last time we were there, we taught her how to make an audio note
Oh,
from
good.
her computer. And thank
Yes.
goodness, because we can, obviously we can still talk on the phone, but it's fun.
Right.
She just sent me an audio note this morning, and we've been doing that a lot. Uh,
Yeah.
I want to say, sometimes at Be Live, the comments aren't coming through right away. And so I know Saida came to say hi, and I appreciate that. And just in case anybody else has joined us and said hello and we haven't acknowledged it, that's why. I think the internet is a little bit overloaded at the moment. And so I think that that's partly what's causing it. But just in case anybody's saying hi, I wanted to say that. And certainly we'll pop by, and hopefully some people will we can respond afterward. But yeah, so I love what you're saying about, using Facebook groups, using, the, what's it called? I forgot what it's called when you're just live with FaceTime.
FaceTime.
Facebook groups. Are there any other ways that or anything that you're doing differently to connect with people? Like maybe, I don't know, anything creative that you're doing?
I'm actually trying to set up a Pictionary, a virtual with friends from all over game on Zoom.
Yes. Oh yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm thinking if we can manage the techie part and using, I think you can share your screen, but you can also share that whiteboard.
Yes.
So maybe we could all be drawing on that whiteboard. Possibly, I don't know, but
I love that you're doing that. My son
so
has been organizing similar things, different games, but we have been trying out both games where everybody logs into a website and then we're on Zoom just to chat
right.
and he's also tested out some games where he's sharing his screen and we're all on Zoom. We got to be creative, but it's been really fun to try some of those different things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's another thing right now in terms of really just trying to think outside of the box and use some of that creativity. For many of us, we just in that day-to-day mode life, we don't have that time to really sit down and kind of get our creative juices back up and running. So this is a great time to do that. So it's so nice when you see people, like, as I said in that dentist group, it was wonderful. All these people are like knitting, and there's so many painters and artists in the group. And one lady, she was staining a table for the first time and just trying out new things. Some people have, are doing things for the first time, and it's just wonderful to see that. And I think if we can keep our minds focused on more positive things while this is all happening, not to say that, we don't want to be thinking of what people are going through and empathizing and feeling for them, but just to be able to keep that, keep some of that, I would have to say, a little bit of the lighthearted mindset just to kind of get through. Because if we're putting all of that energy out there, and I really believe in the energy piece too is so important. So if we're just all going to be putting out sort of sad and the worried energy constantly versus trying to bring people up. I mean, even for the frontline doctors, and nurses and healthcare, anyone, working as first responders, just for them to feel that we are in a better mindset so we can support them, I think is really important too.
Oh, I thank you for saying that. I think that is really important on many different levels, right? I've really been looking a lot at my own life, at how my attitude and my stress level impacts my health. And I think one of the best things that we can do right now is to be healthy. as best we can. And so that lightheartedness you're talking about, well, not, obviously, and I appreciate that you said this, totally respecting and honoring everything that is going on. People are dying, people are ill, people are caring for people, people are losing their jobs. We all, to have compassion for that. But if we stay in that place, I really do think it's detrimental to our own health. We have to find ways out of it too. Yeah.
Right.
And
balance. Yeah.
I love what you're saying also about people, sharing these personal things that they're doing. I find that so beautiful. And I'm seeing the same thing. I'm in a group of women, and a bunch of people start talking about learning to play the ukulele. And so I see, we're all headed toward this, we're all like downloading different lessons, and we're going to get together and be beginners and just strum on our ukuleles, right? Just to come together in those ways that feed us collectively and creatively.
Right. And I feel that, sometimes when we have a common, like what's happening right now, something common, like I like watching that Survivor show. It's one of my favorite reality shows. So, when they finish, they had that bond amongst each other. And so I feel that right now, like I'm making friends with dentists from different places that I would never have found, if it wasn't for some of these groups. And to make these connections and real connections, so that when this is all over, those connections will still be there. And that that genuine care and compassion that we feel for each other right now will continue.
Oh, love that. And I know we have to wrap this up, but I think that's the perfect place to bring it back to your beautiful message that, we may have different religions, we may live different places, we may look differently, we may have different habits, but we have so much in common. And I think that this period of time is really bringing that to the forefront. And if we can carry that way past this, I think it's going to be one of the most beautiful things, that's going to come from this.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a shame to forget moving forward and then, to lose that humanity and that we were having for each other right now. Just let's keep it going regardless, of course we're wanting to have this to be over and everyone to get back to health and, getting over this very difficult time, but for sure, just to hold on to that connection.
Yes. Kahkshan, this has been so amazing to talk to you. I'm really grateful you took the time and that you came on. And as we're closing out, I'm just wondering, is there anything else that you'd love to share from your heart that's right there for you?
I think well, thank you so much, first of all, Sherry, for having me. It's been great talking to you and being here, and really just for us just to continue doing the most important thing, which is reaching out, thinking of others, which I believe everyone is doing. And let's just keep that going. And really, and also if someone is struggling, and finding it, harder, just to really also see if some people are, behaving a certain way, to really like think of where they might be coming from, their circumstances, maybe really challenging even before coronavirus or whatever's happening, and maybe even worse. So really giving them that benefit of the doubt, and just put your hand out and really, give your heart to them and help them as best as we can. So
beautiful. What a beautiful message to leave us with, right? To reach out, reach out, especially to people who are alone or lonely or grieving. And and to really, like you just said, to keep that perspective. We don't know what everybody's going through right now, and to give people a little bit of extra leeway and compassion. What a great thing. And as we leave, I just want to say, I just saw Nathan come on to tell you that you rock. So
Hi, Nathan. I was going to messenger you today. Yes, Nathan is my coach. I love him. He is the one who has gotten me to where I am today. And so he is near and dear to my heart, always will be, always is. And I love him. So thanks, Nathan.
Which is a great reminder as we close out, that it's like, right, these people in our lives, like, let's really appreciate them. Just like you. I mean, that's so beautiful what just happened, virtually between you two, right? This mutual admiration and appreciation. And let's just leave everybody with that right now. Today, who can you appreciate? Who can you really verbally say to, like, wow, thank you. You've had such an impact on my life.
Yeah.
So, and today, let me appreciate you because you've really touched me. This has been really important and meaningful to talk to you. And I love that we got to know each other a little bit more.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sherry. I really enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you.
Good. Be well. And thank you again.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.